Hey everybody, it's Molly.
Hey, everybody, Deanna.
The legacy team is here. Angel's traveling this week, so he is not able to join us, but you got the old school legacy team here.
Picking it old school.
We wanted to kind of dive in a little deeper today. Deanna and I have had a couple of opportunities recently to do some online education and presentation with different groups of people, of caregivers. And one of the things that keeps coming up that we keep hearing over and over again is that people are feeling very alone. They don't have people to turn to. And it's just been screaming at us about how important and critical it is to have a community to surround yourself with, have a network, have support, whether it's your friends, professionals, people from if you're part of a church, whatever it may be. And we really wanted to address this with you today because we think it's something that's really important to kind of create a mindset about you don't have to do this alone and that there is support available to you. So, Deanna, do you want to jump in from that transition? Sorry, I
Yeah,
had to giggle.
well, obviously, when we're on these, we're being brought in to talk to these folks about what their situation is, what's going on, and how we can help them specifically, which is fine. And we do, obviously, we try to give the answers, but what happens when they're not on the Zoom? And, what can they do to basically foster a better situation for themselves? And one of the things we did a presentation a while ago, and maybe we can pop that
Oh
worksheet
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
chat or
Yeah. I'll pull it up.
in the yeah. It is a worksheet that we created, and some people don't even know where to start to find their circle or really understand what support means and what support means around them. And the worksheet that we created really helps you kind of identify the we did it in rings, you being the core, but you have more support around you than you realize.
There. Can you see it?
So, yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
So, on this was one of the presentations that we did, and if you can see, obviously in the middle is you, and then, your family and friends, who can you count on to help support you through this time? And that support it could be anything. It could be helping, coming over to watch your loved one or be with your loved one while you go out grocery shopping, or, maybe it's just moral support. But see what that means to you, your neighborhood, and your community. And then we talk about, and community really is more of like churches and whatever community you're a part of, if you are a part of one. And then you definitely reach out to any professional support. So if this gives you so many like just little triggers of like what you can, who you can turn to during this time of your feeling of isolation, we have a worksheet. So we do have one that we can drop in to the comments that does have some lines on it. So you can actually make some notes. So we'll pop that in. But it's good food for thought. And another thing that we kind of wanted to tap into, in addition to building your village, is a lot of times we hear or we see or we give advice. So, and everyone is, best intentions, and there's a lot of good advice around there. Um, we find that people automatically say no. And it's a hard no, hard stop. That won't work for me. I can't do that, whatever. And it already is self-limiting. So all of the things and all of the suggestions that are out there, if you're not open to them and not open to trying something new, then you're going to stay stuck. So if you stay no to all of the pieces, even though, we could be throwing 10 things at you that could work, and if you say no to every one of them, then yeah, I mean, you're kind of creating your own situation.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna leave it at that. But
Yeah, I mean, I'll add on to that about that. I think people have a perception. Sometimes we create a perception of things that we know from the past. And, part of one of that is, an example is, if you have a loved one with dementia, their cognitive abilities and their needs are changing. And, who they were 10 years ago and who they are now cognitively are going to be different. So, a person may have been very much into crossword puzzles and Sudoku and, different things along those lines. And now maybe um, doing like coloring is more, appropriate in terms of stimulation. And while we may think, well, that's childish, it's silly, we would never do something like that, that might be appropriate for your loved one. So we have to, it's really important as you go through this process of being open and kind of releasing some of those perceptions from the past and expectations of the past, releasing those so that you can be present with the person with where they are now in their situation. And that's going to be ever changing and ever evolving.
hmm
So it's important as a caregiver that you also are evolving, your expectations and of what's going to work for your loved one and with your loved one. That's going to change. I mean, we were just talking about even options like assisted living. I just toured
Yeah.
with a family just this past week, and one of the family members was shocked at how incredible and amazed at all the offerings that the assisted living communities had to offer. They had the perception of, a skilled nursing or a board and care from the 1980s and 90s, where that's outdated. And now you go in and there's pubs and there's connections with universities and connections with the community. They're still engaged with the community. So it's more lifestyle focused. And so I think, once we got that perception released from the past, they were so much more open and excited about the idea of what kind of support and services were available, not only for their loved one, but also as support of themselves too.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important whether, you're staying in your home, being open to some of those services that maybe you would think, there's no way that my loved one will like this or benefit from it. They probably will. And if you're being suggested those things, there's some thoughtfulness behind it. So be open to those ideas, and some may work and some may not, but be open to trying because your loved one deserves that. It's about quality of life and engagement, and that comes in different forms for people, and that is going to evolve, especially if dementia is in play as well. So that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about is just be open to suggestions, find a community of support so that you know that you don't have to walk through this journey alone, whether it's through a support group, through what, like Deanna said, church, whatever it may be. There's something there for you because it's impossible to be successful to go if you do this alone. I mean, just bluntly
Absolutely.
put, it's really tough, and
Yeah.
you deserve better than that, and so does your loved one. So
Yep.
I think it's
Yep.
something we
And
talk about a lot between the two of us because we're always trying to help, but we people have got to be open to the help as well. And
yeah.
as a
And
caregiver,
take that
that
first step. Ask. Ask for
yeah,
help. That's
yeah,
a very, very vulnerable thing to do. So be vulnerable, sorry, vulnerable enough to ask for help.
yeah.
So that's where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know if we can help you. Reach out to us. We're very open to these conversations. We're very kind in the process, but we want to help you. It means a lot to us. So feel free to reach out anytime, but know that you're not alone. And it's really important for you to remember that. Okay,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah.
See
Bye,
you soon.
everybody.
Bye.